Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel Top Coin, where we talk about rare coins, hidden treasures in your pocket change, and the amazing history behind everyday money. Today we are going to take a deep dive into one of the most overlooked but fascinating coins in American history, the 1982 United States dime. You might think a dime is just 10 cents, but let me tell you something. Some of these coins can be worth way more than their face value, and the history behind them is truly fascinating. If you have a dime in your change jar from 1982, you'll want to watch this entire video because you might just be holding on to a small fortune without even realizing it. So let's start at the beginning. The dime, as we all know, is the smallest coin in circulation in terms of physical size, but not necessarily in importance. Since 1946, the design of the dime has featured President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a tribute to his leadership and his fight against polio, as well as his efforts in establishing the March of Dimes Foundation. That design by John Sinek has stayed with us for decades, and the 1982 dime is part of that long-running Roosevelt dime series. Now, here's why 1982 is such a special year in American coinage. It was during the 1980s that the US Mint made several changes to the way coins were struck, and in 1982, something unusual happened. For the first time since the early 1960s, the Mint did not produce any official mint sets for collectors. That means dimes from this year were only struck for circulation. In other words, there were no special collector-grade uncirculated dimes released directly by the Mint, which makes high-grade examples especially desirable today. Think about it. Millions of dimes were minted in 1982, but because there were no uncirculated mint sets, very few pristine, untouched examples survived. Most of these dimes went directly into circulation, into your pocket, into cash registers, and into banks. So when collectors today look for a gem-quality 1982 dime, it's not as easy to find as from other years, but it gets even more interesting. There are two main mint marks to look out for on your 1982 dime. Coins struck in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, and coins struck in Denver carry a small D mint mark. But the real excitement comes with a special variety, the 1982 no P mint mark dime. That's right, some of the dimes struck at the Philadelphia Mint accidentally left off the mint mark entirely. Instead of having that tiny letter P on the obverse, just above the date, these coins were struck completely blank in that area. And collectors absolutely loved this error. Now let's talk about values. A regular 1982 dime in circulated condition is, of course, worth 10 cents. But if you have a coin in very high grade, especially one certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC, the value can jump into the hundreds of dollars. For example, a regular 1982 dime graded mint state 67 can be worth around $200 to $300, depending on the demand and the quality of the strike. And if you find one in even higher grade, you could be looking at $500 or more, but the real jackpot is the 1982 no P mint mark dime. This is one of the most famous and sought-after error coins of the modern era. In circulated condition, even a worn-out no P dime can bring in $50 to $100. In higher grades, such as mint state 65 or better, these coins have sold for thousands. In fact, at auction, a 1982 no P dime in pristine condition has reached prices of over $2,000 to $3,000. Some examples have gone even higher depending on the collector demand at the time. That's an incredible return for a coin most people would overlook as just a simple dime. So, what should you be looking for in your change? First, check the date. If you see 1982, grab that coin and inspect it carefully. Look right above the date on the obverse, that's the front of the coin with Roosevelt's portrait. Do you see a small P? If yes, then it's a standard Philadelphia issue. If you see a D, it's from Denver. But if you don't see any letter at all, congratulations, you may have just found the famous no P mint mark dime. Another tip, condition is everything in coin collecting. Even if you find a no P dime, the better the condition, the more it's worth. Coins that have sharp details, little to no wear, and brilliant luster are the ones collectors will pay top dollar for. If you think you have a valuable coin, it's always a good idea to send it in for professional grading. Not only does this confirm authenticity, but it also gives collectors confidence when buying and selling. Now let's briefly talk about the broader history. By 1982, the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for over 35 years. The US Mint had transitioned away from silver back in 1965, so all 1982 dimes are made of a copper-nickel-clad composition. That means they don't have any intrinsic silver value, unlike the older pre-1965 dimes. But as we've seen, their collectible value can be far more than the value of silver. Another fun fact is that the 1982 dime no-P era was the very first time in US history that the absence of a mint mark created a recognized collectible variety. Since then, there have been other no-P or missing mint mark coins, but the 1982 dime remains the most famous. It's almost like the coin that started the modern mint era craze. So what's the market like today for these coins? As of right now, collectors continue to pay strong prices for them. The demand is steady, and with more people getting into coin collecting thanks to YouTube, TikTok, and other online platforms, interest is only growing. If you check recent sales online or at auctions, you'll see that high-grade examples are still pulling in hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. This means if you have a coin collection, or even just a jar of change at home, it's worth taking the time to look closely at your dimes from 1982. You never know what you might find. It could be an overlooked treasure hiding right under your nose. So to wrap things up, the 1982 United States dime might seem like an ordinary coin, but it carries an extraordinary story. From the lack of mint sets, to the accidental no-P era, to the high values collectors are willing to pay, this little coin proves once again that history and value can be found in the smallest places. Always check your change, because that simple dime in your pocket could actually be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1982 dime, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more coin collecting videos, and share this with your friends and family who might also have hidden treasures in their piggy banks. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare dime, and let us know what other coins you'd like us to cover in future videos. Thanks for watching, and remember, the next coin you find could change your life. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of coins, and today's star is the United States of America 1 dime coin from 1984. You might look at this small coin and think it is just worth 10 cents, but you will be surprised to know that in certain cases this little dime can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its rarity, condition and minting errors. So before you ever spend that dime at a vending machine, you need to know the secrets behind it. The dime is one of the most circulated coins in the United States economy, and since 1946 it has carried the portrait of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States who guided the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. The design is known as the Roosevelt dime, and it was created by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint in 1984. The dime continued to be struck in the same design, with Roosevelt facing left, the word liberty to the left, the motto "In God We Trust" beneath his chin, and the date 1984 proudly stamped on the right side. On the reverse side of the coin you will see a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength, with the words United States of America 1 dime and E pluribus unum. By 1984 the dime had already been struck for nearly 4 decades in copper nickel-clad composition. The silver dimes had ended back in 1964, and since 1965 all dimes have been made of a copper core with an outer layer of copper nickel. The 1984 dime was minted in 3 main locations: the Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without a mint mark, the Denver Mint, which placed a small D mint mark on the coin, and the San Francisco Mint, which produced proof coins with an S mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 billion dimes that year, while the Denver Mint struck over 900 million. So in total we are talking about billions of coins entering circulation. But do not be fooled by those huge numbers, because even in such a large mintage certain coins stand out due to condition, rarity and unique errors. Now if you have a regular worn 1984 dime that you just found in your change, it is most likely worth only face value, just 10 cents. However, collectors are always on the lookout for coins in pristine condition. Coins that have never been circulated or show no signs of wear are called mint state or uncirculated dimes. A 1984 dime in mint state condition, graded MS65, can sell for anywhere from $5 to $15 at a higher grade such as MS67 or MS68, which are very difficult to find because they require the coin to have perfect luster, sharp strikes and almost no marks. The value jumps significantly. For example, a 1984 dime graded MS68 by PCGS or NGC can fetch hundreds of dollars at auction. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are also highly collectible. Proof coins are specially struck with polished dies and planchets to give them mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. The 1984 S proof dime is common but in perfect deep cameo condition with grades PR70 they can sell for around $50 to $100. These coins were never intended for circulation but were sold in proof sets to collectors. Now here is where things get very exciting. Some 1984 dimes are worth not just a few dollars but hundreds or even thousands of dollars because of minting errors. Mint errors are mistakes that happen during the coin production process, and they can turn an ordinary dime into a treasure. A few notable errors include off-center strikes where part of the design is missing because the coin was not properly aligned with the dies. These can range in value from $50 to several $100 depending on how dramatic the error is. Double die errors where the coin's design appears doubled are also valuable and can easily fetch hundreds of dollars. Another extremely rare error to look for is a dime struck on the wrong planchet. For example, a dime struck on a copper penny blank or a foreign coin blank would be worth thousands of dollars at auction. Over the years, some 1984 dimes with rare errors and high grades have been sold for impressive amounts at major coin auctions. Certain MS-68 graded dimes have crossed the $500 mark, and error dimes from 1984 have been known to sell for over $1,000 depending on the uniqueness of the mistake. These are the coins that every treasure hunter dreams of finding in their pocket change. If you have a 1984 dime at home, the first thing to do is carefully inspect the coin. Look for the mint mark, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mint mark for Philadelphia. Then check the condition. Is it worn or is it crisp and shiny like new? Next, look for errors or unusual features such as doubling, missing details, or off-center strikes. If you believe you have a high grade or error dime, it is worth sending it to a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading. A certified coin will always command a higher price in the collector market. The market for Roosevelt dimes remains strong, especially among beginner collectors, because they are affordable to start with and yet can have hidden treasures worth big money. Right now in 2025, collectors are still hunting for gem quality 1984 dimes in high grades as well as dramatic errors. With silver prices climbing and coin collecting becoming more popular, the demand for rare and high quality coins continues to rise. So the next time you come across a 1984 dime, remember that it is more than just pocket change. It is a piece of American history carrying the image of President Roosevelt and the values of liberty, strength, and peace. Most 1984 dimes are only worth 10 cents, but the rare ones in top condition or with fascinating mint errors could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The lesson here is never overlook the small coins in your change because treasures can be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1984 diamond, want to learn more about valuable coins that might be in your pocket right now, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another coin collecting video. And of course, drop a comment below if you have ever found a rare dime or if you have questions about your coin collection. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy collecting. Today we are diving deep into the story of one of the most common yet fascinating coins in United States history, the 1997 Roosevelt dime. This small silver-colored coin that many people pass around in everyday change might not seem like much at first glance, but some pieces from this year can actually be worth a surprising amount of money. And today I will take you through its history, design, features, varieties, and the current market value. So by the end you will know exactly what to look for in your own coin collection or maybe even in your pocket change. Let's start with the basics. The 1997 dime is officially known as the Roosevelt dime, and it has been in circulation since 1946. The design was introduced to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. Roosevelt was chosen because of his leadership during World War II and his connection to the March of Dimes campaign, which helped fight polio. This connection to health and national strength made him an inspiring figure to feature on America's 10-cent coin. The coin is made of a copper nickel-clad composition, not silver like the earlier dimes before 1965. It weighs 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters with a reeded edge. The obverse shows the left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt with the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," the year 1997, and a mint mark. The reverse features an olive branch, a torch, and an oak branch, symbols of peace, liberty, and strength, with the words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and one dime. Now let's look at the minting history for the year 1997. Dimes were struck at 3 different locations: the Philadelphia Mint with the P mint mark, the Denver Mint with the D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint, which produced proof coins for collectors with the S mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 billion dimes. The Denver Mint also struck more than 1 billion, and the San Francisco Mint made a few million. proofs because of these huge numbers. Most 1997 dimes are extremely common and are only worth face value in circulated condition, but here's where it gets interesting. While most 1997 dimes are common, certain high-grade examples and error coins can be worth much more than 10 cents. Collectors are always looking for coins that are nearly flawless, graded by services like PCGS or NGC. A dime from 1997 in mint state 67 or 68 condition with full torch bands on the reverse can be worth dozens or even hundreds of dollars. The full torch bands designation means the lines on the torch are fully visible and sharply struck, showing exceptional detail. In fact, some 1,997 dimes in top condition have sold at auction for over $200, which is a huge leap from face value. It shows just how much quality and condition matter in the world of coin collecting. But the real treasures are the error coins. Errors occur during the minting process and can make a coin extremely rare and valuable. Collectors go crazy for double die errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. For example, if you find a 1997 dime with missing lettering, unusual doubling, or an off-center strike, it could be worth anywhere from $20 to several hundred depending on the rarity and demand. Another category of interest is the proof coin struck at the San Francisco Mint. These coins were made with mirrored surfaces and sharp detail for collectors. A 1997 proof dime is common, but in perfect PR70 deep cameo condition it can sell for a premium, usually $20 to $50 and sometimes higher if the coin has exceptional eye appeal. Let's also talk about the market today. In 2025, coin collectors are more active than ever, and modern coins with errors and top grades are gaining popularity. The regular 1997 dime from circulation will almost always be worth only 10 cents, but gem uncirculated coins certified by grading companies can bring in real money. As of now, the average price for a high-grade 1997 P or D dime ranges from $5 to $20, while the highest certified examples with full torch bands can reach over 100 or more. Rare error dimes from this year can jump into the hundreds depending on the uniqueness of the mistake. So what does this mean for you? It means every time you see a 1997 dime, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look under good light or with a magnifying glass. Check the torch bands on the reverse. Look for doubling in the lettering or the date. Look at the rim to see if the strike is centered or off, and if you find something unusual, you might just be holding a coin worth far more than 10 cents. This is the beauty of coin collecting. A small everyday coin like the dime can tell a story of history, design, and minting technology. It can also open the door to hidden value and surprise finds that keep collectors hunting every day. To wrap up, here is a quick summary. The 1997 Roosevelt dime is mostly common and worth face value unless it is in mint state or proof condition. Certified high-grade examples can sell for $50 to $100 or more. Proof coins in top grade can bring a premium, and rare error coins from 1997 can be worth hundreds depending on the type of mistake. So always remember to check your change, because one small dime could lead to a big discovery. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1997 dime coin value and history, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more coin videos, and share this with your friends who love history and collecting. And as always, keep hunting, keep learning, and maybe one day you will find a coin worth a lot of money. Today we are diving deep into the world of coin collecting and uncovering the story behind the 2002 United States dime, also known as the Roosevelt dime. This small piece of American change might look ordinary to most people, but as you are about to find out, it carries history, hidden value, and sometimes even a price tag that might shock you. So let us begin by taking a closer look at the dime itself. The United States dime is a 10-cent coin minted by the United States Mint. It has been in circulation for over 2 centuries, but the design we know today, featuring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, was first introduced in 1946. This design was chosen to honor Roosevelt after his passing and to commemorate his work in founding the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio. From then on, the dime has carried his portrait on the obverse or front side. Now let us move forward to the year 2002. At first glance, the dime from this year looks no different than the billions of other Roosevelt dimes minted since the 40s. On the obverse you will find the profile of Roosevelt facing left. The inscriptions include "Liberty in God We Trust," the year 2002, and the mint mark, if there is one. The reverse shows the torch representing liberty, flanked by an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence. This classic reverse has remained unchanged since 1946, but here is where things get interesting. You might be asking yourself, what makes a dime from 2002 so special after all? It is just a 10-cent coin, right? Well, the truth is, in coin collecting nothing is ordinary. The real value often lies in rarity, condition, errors, and historical importance. The United States Mint produced over 2 billion dimes in 2002. These were struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, as well as special collector-proof coins from San Francisco. With such a massive number in circulation, the majority of 2002 dimes will only ever be worth face value 10 cents, but the exceptions are what collectors chase, and that is what we will uncover today. First, let us talk about condition. If you have a 2002 dime in perfect mint state condition graded by a professional service such as PCGS or NGC, it could bring in far more than face value. High-grade examples, MS67 or higher, can sell for $10, $20, and in rare cases even more than $100. When demand is strong, the better the shine, the fewer the marks, and the more flawless the strike, the higher the value. Next, let us discuss proof coins. In 2002, the San Francisco Mint produced proof sets, and these included special 2002 proof dimes. Unlike regular circulation strikes, proof coins are made with polished dies and special planches, giving them a mirror-like finish and razor-sharp details. Collectors love proof coins, and even though they are not necessarily rare, they do hold a premium value. A 2002's proof dime in perfect PR 70 deep cameo condition can fetch anywhere from $15 to $50 depending on the market. But the most fascinating part of coin collecting is not the ordinary mint state coins or the proof strikes, it is the error coins. This is where 2002 dimes can become extremely valuable. Errors are mistakes made at the mint, and they range from small anomalies to major blunders that make a coin truly one of a kind. Some errors that have been found on 2002 dimes include off-center strikes, double dies, missing clad layers, and broad strikes. For example, a 2002 dime missing the outer clad layer on one side, exposing the copper core underneath, could be worth $50 to $100. An off-center strike showing Roosevelt's head shifted away from the center could bring in $200 or more depending on how dramatic the error is. Collectors also keep an eye out for double die, obverse or reverse coins. These are where the design elements appear double due to a misalignment in the die creation process. If you ever find a 2002 dime with clear doubling on the lettering or on Roosevelt's profile, you may have stumbled upon a coin worth hundreds of dollars. Now let us move into the market today. What is the current value of a 2002 dime in 2025? Well, as of now, the majority of these dimes are still only worth 10 cents in pocket change. However, collectors are consistently paying premiums for certified high-grade examples as well as error coins on auction sites and coin dealer platforms. We see sales of MS67 graded coins for between $50 and $100. We see proof coins in top condition selling steadily around $20 to $30, and most importantly, rare errors from this year continue to capture attention and sell for anywhere between $50 to several $100. Another important factor to consider is silver content. Some people wonder whether a 2002 dime is made of silver. The answer is no. All circulation dimes struck after 1965 are composed of copper and nickel. But there is one exception: proof sets produced by the San Francisco Mint also included silver-proof versions. These silver dimes are 90% silver and 10% copper. They weigh 2.5 grams, and because of their silver content alone, they carry melt value in addition to collectible value. So if you have a 2002 silver-proof dime, not only is it collectible, but it is also tied to the value of silver in the market as of today, with silver prices fluctuating around $20 to $25 per ounce. The silver content alone makes such a dime worth about $2 or more, and with collector demand they can sell for $20, $50 or even higher depending on grade. So what is the takeaway here? The 2002 United States dime may seem common, and in many cases it is, but with the right condition, the right error, or the right proof strike, it can transform from a simple 10-cent coin into something worth a significant amount of money. This is why coin collecting is such a fascinating hobby. You never know what treasures might be hiding in your pocket change. If you have a 2002 dime at home, take a close look at it under good lighting. Check the mint mark. Is it from Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D, or San Francisco with an S? Look closely for any doubling, off-center strikes, or missing layers, and if your coin looks flawless with sharp details and bright luster, it may be worth sending it in for grading. Collectors across the world are always looking to add high-quality coins to their collections, and the demand for modern era coins is growing every year. The market is alive, the auctions are active, and prices are climbing steadily for coins that stand out. So next time you see a dime from 2002, do not dismiss it as ordinary. You might just be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. That is the magic of numismatics, small discoveries leading to big surprises. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2002 United States dime, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more coin history and values and share this video with your fellow collectors. Let us keep the passion for coin collecting alive and continue exploring the hidden value in the change we use every day.